So, some of you young whippersnappers may not know this, but the dual Zoren is one of the, if not the most important melee weapon in the entire game, and that is not an over-exaggeration. I am completely serious. It's the weapon that's pretty much responsible for the game having parkour movement, you know, bullet jumps and such. You see, back in the day, Warframes weren't anywhere near as fast as they are today. There was no bullet jumping, no double jumping, there was no parkour movement, there was a little bit of wall running, and that was about it. The game was so slow, in fact, compared to what it is today, it was acceptable for Warframe like Excalibur to have super jump as one of his abilities. That was like an acceptable thing to use energy on. You press a button, you spend energy, and you jump really high. But then some people figured out that if you do a slide attack mid-air, you will actually get a nice boost of speed. You'll be flung forward. After trying out a bunch of different melee weapons, people eventually figured out that the weapon that was by far the best at this was the dual Zoren, which allowed you to fly across entire tilesets if done right, giving birth to the term zorencoptering. You might have actually heard this before. Now, while the devs really liked this mobility, they didn't like the way in which we achieved it, so they eventually took it away, but gave us parkour in return. This is the reason why when you do a mid-air slide attack with the dual Zoren Prime, you get a nice boost of speed, you get flung forward. It's a little nod to the legacy of the dual Zoren. Now, the dual Zoren Prime are a pair of Master Rank 13 dual-wielded axes. Well, they're technically dual-wielded swords, weapon type-wise, but, well, they're obviously axes, and they do almost pure slash damage. There is only a tiny bit of impact and puncture on them. They sport a very saucy 30% crit chance, a very above average 3.2 times crit multiplier with a 22% status chance, and they're very fast with a base attack speed of 1.25. Their range could be a little bit better, it's only 2.3, but, you know, it's not the worst thing in the world. So let's give these puppies a shot, shall we? Jesus Christ, that is a hell of an upgrade. My god, double damage, better attack speed, better crit, better status. It is to be expected though. The dual Zoren are... they've got to be like 10 years old at this point. Let's get a potato, not format, potato, there we go. The polarity fits Swirling Tiger, so let's use that, I guess. Yeah, these combos are not very spectacular. Not much going on over here. The polarities are really weird as well. D and 2 dashes. Some base damage, some critage, and yeah, sure, we can use the D for Elementalist. Good stuff. Yep, absolutely. Galvanized Steel for the crit chance and damage. Lovely stuff. It's gonna be a pretty straightforward build. We could put Viro in there. Probably top it off with attack speed or something like that. Let's give it a quick test. Oh, I forgot about Arcane Strike. Hold on a second. Let's get rid of that. While we're here, might as well equip Harold for the priming. This is going to be tremendous with Condi Overload. You know, taking into account the fact that we're missing like 3 mods, this is really, really good. Let's get a Blessing. Here's how it used to work. You would like jump up and then you would do a slide attack. That's that. That seems really fast. They did not. Hold up. They did not. Oh my god, they totally did. I knew something wasn't right about that slide attack. That's awesome. You know what? There's actually quite a lot of lifts in the combos, so we could use melee afflictions for more single target. That would actually be quite nice. Doubt isn't gonna do much. We have too much crit for duplicate. Yeah. We can totally use afflictions on this. So, Berserker Fury goes in. We flip one of the dashes into a V. We could run Carnis Mandible in the dash polarity, but I'm not sure about it. I don't think so. Nah, balls to it. I'm flipping it into a V as well. Move it over here. That lets us run Organ Shatter, and the last one is gonna be Weeping Wounds. Yes, that seems about right. Last format is gonna be V as well for Blood Rush. Bam! Weeping Wounds. Nice. Oh my god, it tells you right here. I was so excited when I found out about it, but it says it right there. I'm just an ill-bred cretin. Yeah, I think we'll just leave it empty because I don't even want to do Tennokai. The heavy attacks are kind of meh. So I think we save ourselves the adapter and the format, just leave it blank. Okay, I want to do a more reasonable test without all the priming from Harold, so we're going to switch over to Bigus Nichos and run it with Hellstrom for a little bit less priming. Surprisingly solid, so you don't need like a min-maxed priming pet to make this work, though with that said, I think I would still use Primed Pressure Point if you're not gonna use like a Hound or something. Now let's do a big boy test, so Harold goes back in, and so does Arcane Strike, there it is. You know what, let's do Nourish for good measure as well, ooh woo. Oh, Jesus, I didn't even fully ramp up. My god. This is a maximum blendage. What the... Oh, this is gross. You know, I love a good influence or slam setup as much as the next guy, but there's something so special about just a very sharp thing that you hit things with. There's no fuffing around, there's no gimmick, you just hit stuff and it hurts it. Very, very much. The best word I can use to describe this is just violent. Over the top, unadulterated, disgusting, grotesque violence. And I love it. It's kind of an old school build, just big ol' slash with Condi overload. I think it's very fitting actually. Setups like this will always have a special place in my heart. Yeah, influence builds are cool, yeah, slam builds are cool, special mechanics are cool, but just like frantically flailing sharp things around, chopping everything to bits, you can't beat that. I think it just appeals to 16-year-old me that used to watch Swifty videos and thought Fury Warriors were the coolest thing in the world. I genuinely can't not recommend this. This is too much fun. I guess we're not getting an Acolyte, which is a bit of a shame, but not too big of a deal. So let's go wrap it up, I guess. I need to finish the bounty first. It's gonna be hard to kill stuff with abilities, though. So here is kind of like a new school version of an old school build for the dual Zoren Prime. For the stance we run Swirling Tiger because it matches the polarity, and because we're running Swirling Tiger we're actually using Melee Afflictions because Swirling Tiger has a few attacks that lift enemies and Melee Affliction procs additional status on enemies when you lift them. It's not too important though, so if you don't want to use the adapter or you don't have Melee Afflictions, don't worry about it and just leave it blank. On to the mods then. We have Galvanized Elementalist for the status damage and status chance, Berserker Fury for attack speed, Primed Reach for range, Galvanized Steel for crit chance and crit damage, Condition Overload for stacking melee damage based on the number of status effects we have on the enemy, Blood Rush for crit chance, Organ Shatter for crit damage, and then Weeping Wounds for status chance. We're also using the Naraman Focus School to sustain our combo. Now, if you're gonna go the Condition Overload route, I highly recommend you use a priming pad, because look at my good boy Harold. He procs Radiation, Vital, Puncture, Heat, Impact, Magnetic, as well as Cold from his abilities. That is a lot of damage through Condition Overload. And if you don't have a priming pad, don't worry, simply switch Condition Overload for Primed Pressure Point. I love everything about this. Yeah, the way it looks, the damage distribution, the crit and status, the attack speed. The only thing that could be considered questionable by some people is the range. It's a little bit shorter, but that's nothing Reach, Primed Reach, or even Spring-Loaded Blade can't fix. I also love the, let's call it unique mechanic, you know, that little nod to the legacy of the Zoren. It's just so cool. I love that they did that. So of course I recommend you give this a shot. It's tremendous. And as always guys, I thank you very much for watching and I hope you've enjoyed the video. Then I would also like to extend a special thank you to all the channel members. Thank you very much guys, I really appreciate your support, it means a lot to me. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.